Are you also aware that President Trump has filed claims seeking $230 million from the Justice Department for investigations conducted during his previous candidacy?
I'm unaware of the cumulative number.
Okay. So if the president wins or settles these claims, that money will come also from the Treasury Judgment Fund, which you do control. Have you recused yourself from any decisions about paying the president on these claims?
Again, I'll follow the law, and I'm not involved with any of this. It stems from justice.
So you, even though the Treasury Judgment Fund is called the Treasury Judgment Fund, you have no control over the Treasury Judgment Fund?
We act as paymaster.
So you will sign it then?
Sorry?
You will sign the check then? If you're a paymaster, you'd be the person's signature is to the Treasury Judgment Fund?
I would assume it would be a wire transfer.
$10 billion. That's what Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent just confirmed comes straight out of the general fund if Donald Trump wins his lawsuit against the very agency Bessent runs. Senator Ruben Gallego asked one direct question about who controls that payout, and Bessent's answer was he's just the paymaster, the person who hit send on the wire transfer. I am Jason Parker, and I have watched a lot of officials claim they're just following procedure. I have never watched one confirm under oath that he'd personally execute a payment to the man who can fire him, on demand, with no independent say in the matter. Stick around, because this doesn't stop at $10 billion. There's a second payout, a $250 million more, and it runs to the same account. If you're new here, pull up a seat, hit subscribe, because at the Truth Seat, we read the transcript, not the talking points. Here's the hearing.
Senator Gallego.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Secretary Bessent, thank you again for being here today. We kind of touched on this earlier. In addition to being Treasury Secretary, you are serving as Acting Director of the IRS. So following up on Senator Kim's questioning, so you are fully aware that the President is suing your agency for $10 billion.
Yeah.
We would agree. Would you agree that $10 billion is a good sum of money?
Yes, sir.
Where would that be cut from? Let's say for some reason he actually wins that lawsuit. Where would that $10 billion come from?
Again, it would come from...
Process-wise. I'm not asking like your opinion whether it's right or wrong.
It would come from Treasury.
It comes from Treasury, which comes from the general fund?
The Treasury General Account.
So taxpayers?
Yes.
Thank you.
Part of the 440,000 taxpayers whose returns were leaked.
If the president, they're not suing, but if the president prevails in this lawsuit, he's going to be able to pocket that money. My question is the president, has anyone in the president's office talked to you about this lawsuit in any regard?
They have not, and the president said he will donate the proceeds to charity. You may have missed that.
So no one at all has discussed this to you whatsoever?
No, sir, and the president said he will.
Have you received, I didn't ask any more questions. Have you received any advice from Treasury's legal division about how to handle this potential conflict?
This is a Justice Department matter. They represent Treasury in it.
Have someone from the Department of Justice actually come and talk to you saying that this is their purview and you need to stay out of it? Or who has discussed to you what is your role in this?
Our general counsel, who's sitting behind me, has told me that it is a Justice Department matter. The Justice Department defends Treasury in matters like this.
Okay, so it has been discussed with you. Do you have any final say at all in the process of this? Or is the DOJ just going to instruct you to cut a check and or settle, and you have no independence to actually make a decision whether or not the president deserves $10 billion?
Again, that is a DOJ matter.
And so the DOJ will entirely make that decision whether or not the president should receive $10 billion. You have no say at all.
Correct.
So you would just have to write the check if you were told to write the check.
Correct.
And you would write the check willingly if you're told by a DOJ to the president.
I will follow the law, Senator.
Okay. I mean, I think for many of us, this is very simple, and I think if this had been happening in any other countries, it would look an absolute, like a total shakedown of the American taxpayer. Are you also aware that President Trump has filed claims seeking $230 million from the Justice Department for investigations conducted during his previous candidacy?
I'm unaware of the cumulative number.
Okay. So if the president wins or settles these claims, that money will come also from the Treasury Judgment Fund, which you do control. Have you recused yourself from any decisions about paying the president on these claims?
Again, I'll follow the law, and I'm not involved with any of this. It stems from justice.
So you, even though the Treasury Judgment Fund is called the Treasury Judgment Fund, you have no control over the Treasury Judgment Fund?
We act as paymaster.
So you will sign it then?
Sorry?
You will sign the check then? If you're a paymaster, you'd be the person's signature is to the Treasury Judgment Fund.
I would assume it would be a wire transfer.
Yes, I'm assuming we're not that old school.
Yep.
But that being said, so you have no say in this whatsoever. You will only basically follow what the DOJ says, but you're the person that actually is the final person that pushes send essentially on the wire transfer.
Yes.
And even if you feel or that it is unjust, the fact that this president is basically plundering U.S. taxpayer dollars, you will still hit that send button.
Even if I believe that 6103, the IRS tax code, was violated and 440,000 taxpayers were leaked.
So
by Mr.
back
Littlejohn.
back to this other thing. So now, you do believe, though? I mean, do you understand why some of us see a problem with that? And let me ask just a very simple question: do you work for the president of the United States?
I work for the American people.
So can the president fire you?
Or he can.
He can fire you, correct?
Yes.
So isn't it a conflict of interest that you're going to be making these decisions and the president has full power over you?
I think you're confused, Senator. I am not part of the decision.
Well, you're certainly a person that send on the wire transfer, and I think that's why there's a lot of people that are actually
that is not part of the
do not
decision.
trust and do not trust the
Well,
president's
I
actually
guess you
looking
were
out his best
saying-
interest.
I guess you were saying that
I'm controlling the time here.
obeying the
I'm
law
controlling. You're not obeying the law. You're plundering U.S. taxpayer dollars.
Obeying the
plundering
law
U.S.
is the
taxpayer
decision.
dollars.
Obeying the
Plundering
law is the
taxpayer dollars.
decision.
Plundering. Thank you. You're back.
Let's lay out exactly what got confirmed here, because it's bigger than one uncomfortable exchange. Scott Bessent holds two jobs at once: Treasury Secretary and Acting Director of the IRS. Both of those agencies are currently being sued by Donald Trump personally for roughly $10 billion over the IRS leak of his tax returns. Gallego asked Bessent directly, if that lawsuit is won or settled, where does the money come from? Bessent's answer: the Treasury General Account. Not a special reserve, not agency funds, the same account that funds public programs, taxpayer money. Then Gallego pushes on the obvious conflict. The man overseeing the agency being sued would also be the one signing off on the payout to the person suing it. Bessent's defense is that he has no independent authority here. It's a DOJ matter. He just follows the law. Gallego keeps pressing, and Bessent eventually describes his actual function in one word: paymaster. He confirmed he'd be the one to execute the transfer. A wire transfer. And he specifies that DOJ instructs him to. That's not a hypothetical. That's confirmed testimony under oath from the sitting Treasury Secretary. Gallego doesn't stop there. He raises a second claim: Trump separately seeking $230 million from the Justice Department over investigations from his prior candidacy, and confirms that payout would also run through the same Treasury Judgment Fund Bessent overseas. Bessent says he hasn't recused himself, hasn't been consulted, and again, would follow whatever DOJ instructs. Then comes the question that actually exposes the structure. Gallego asks plainly, do you work for the President of the United States? Bessent says he works for the American people. Gallego follows with, can the President fire you? Bessent says, yes. Sit with that sequence. The person responsible for executing a multi-billion-dollar payment to the president can be removed by that same president at any time and has no independent authority to decline the payment if instructed. Whether that's a design conflict of interest or simply how the process happens to work, the effect is the same either way. No independent check between the man who wants the money and the man who sends it. Gallego calls it a shakedown of the American taxpayer. Bessent doesn't really dispute the mechanics. He just keeps repeating that he follows the law. Both things can be true at once. That's what makes this hearing worth sitting with. If you want more of these hearings broken all the way down, facts first, no spin, no letting it slide, hit subscribe. I'm Jason Parker, and I'll see you in the next one.